And how many of us are in between? This is a question we need to answer. Is Africa really poor? Because poverty, by my definition, is simply lack of resources. Okay? Not utilization, but the lack of resources. Now, if you look at our homeland, if you look at this continent, there is nothing we lack. We have all the resources, starting with good climate, and nature gave us all the resources. We have water bodies, we have forests, we have good agricultural land, we have minerals, we have everything. Why is it that our youth get out of school, they come out with very good European standard degrees, and they can't do anything for themselves? They cannot do anything for their families. They cannot do anything for their communities. Why? Is that we go to school, and I'm speaking to you, young people of our homeland. We go to school to acquire knowledge. Knowledge will be measured in terms of value. Now, you go to school and they start teaching you. And I think that is one of the things the young people and all of us need to pay attention to. We need from our human capital, from our human resource. So you come out and you cannot do anything. There's mining of gold in Busia. There's mining of gold in Mubende. How many people in Mubende know about gold? No. How many schools in Busia teach about gold? We have 75,000 square kilometers of fresh water, and there are communities living around this fresh water. They have schools. Where have they ever started teaching the children about the value of the water bodies that they live with? But in our parents' time, the system of training and education was different. We were talked about the curriculum. I had level international consultants at the Curriculum Development Center in Chambogo University, because I was looking at the education system in Uganda. And I was surprised to find out that they are all foreigners coming to design what we teach our children. That is rubbish. And we pay them a lot of money. Or somebody hires them, the World Bank pays them to come and distort our system. Yes. Oh, I should be winding up. Eh? Okay. Let me see how I do it. This is a topic that I'm so passionate about, and I wish I have enough time for us to talk about it. And I was telling the speaker that to their situation.
We shall segment this debate.
Yeah. What is Africa's problem? Africa's problem is condemnation. There is self-criticism. Everywhere you find an African, we are not happy with. Some of us even want to shift camp and go and live elsewhere. The only thing you cannot change in your whole life is where you come from. You cannot say the members of my family are poor, they are not handsome, they are not beautiful. Therefore, I'm going to leave my family or leave where I come from and go and join the speaker's family. Whether you like it or not, you are an African and you cannot become anything else. And we need to become aware of that. We are ignorant about who we are truly. My brother talked about agriculture starting from Africa. But I can also assure you that we built pyramids. All the pyramids you see in Egypt were built by Africans, not the Arabs who are occupying the place today, but they were built by Africans who look like you and I. And at the time, without cranes. We irrigated the Nile Valley. As we lived there, my tribe also migrated from the Nile Valley, and I have that history very clear. We are ignorant about where we come from. We are completely ignorant about our continent, about our homeland. We don't know anything. We know everything about North America. We know everything about Europe, but we don't know anything about where we come from.
We actually know everything about the players of Manchester United and that's
Exactly. But we don't know anything else. In school they tell you there's copper in Kasese. But if I put copper here, how many of you can identify it? So we don't know. Therefore, we don't know how to use what we have to get what we want, and that is nation building. About what we have. How do we use what we have to get what we want? The result, the lack of awareness comes from multiple events and systems that bedeviled our homeland for the last 5 centuries and has completely replaced our values with values we cannot connect with, we do not understand, and they will never work for us after graduation, because it did not start today. You cannot solve a problem if you don't know the cause of the problem. We can be picking the yellow leaves, okay? We say, oh, these leaves are growing old, we pick them. The tree looks as if nobody is interested in going down to the roots to find out that. We have systems and relationships that are working against us. I ask myself, when did African colonial states become members of the United Nations? Because if you study the history of the United Nations, it started as the League of Nations after World War I. Actually, I call those wars European Tribal Wars. It started after the first European Tribal War was set up to avert any such war. And then the second one came. 1945. How many African countries, sub-Saharan African? They were not there. So how did we find ourselves there? And what have we been doing there for all this time? What have we? And begin to think about ourselves and begin to listen to ourselves and stop listening to the World Bank, stop listening to the IMF, because we have all the brains, we have all the capabilities that we need to design our own development trajectory, to have a notice to end in 2 minutes. Let me see if I can do that. I'll try to do that, Mr. Speaker. The youth, what you need to focus on right now, you're seeing other people before you graduate and end up in the streets. Have you ever stopped to ask yourselves, what is causing this unemployment problem? And try to find an answer. No. There are very many to ask. We all have talents. All of you young people, discover yourselves. Emancipate yourselves from any form of mental slavery. Any form. By asking questions. I've just given you an example of the independence we celebrate. For me, Kojo Ablode, it doesn't make any sense, because I've questioned it. I thought about it, I analyzed it, I opened it up, and I realized these guys only gave us something we don't understand. We accepted, and we are protecting and defending it to our own detriment. Be who you are. You are Africans, and nothing else. This is the only homeland we have, and it is our responsibility to build it with what we have, with our human capital, with the gifts that nature has given us. We need to.
You're somebody. As I said to the group last night, nobody else can do this for me. can do this for us. No Lincolnian Emancipation Proclamation can do this for us. No Hendersonian or Johnsonian Civil Rights Bill can do this for us. If the Negro is to be free, he must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with the pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own emancipation proclamation.
Ladies and gentlemen, I had introduced Mr. Joseph Mande from the Ghana High Commission in his absence. Now I'm told he's around. Mr. Joseph, you can start up. Mr. Joseph Mande from Ghana High Commission, Ghana High Commission. Thank you. So the other one is your brother. Thank you for coming. I also want, ladies and gentlemen, to organize the presence of one of our longest comrades here in this struggle, Mr. Mukarege Kisaji. What is he? Mr. Mukarege Kisaji. That gentleman, give him a round of applause. That gentleman, and with Mr. Kamuhanda here, also Kamanda Banisani, Kamuhanda, those are some of the first people that we started this organization with. They are still around. Mr. Mukarege, I actually got those since 2014. I've just seen him again. He just happened from cancer. We didn't know. He battled his cancer and his back. And so that should also challenge us when our friends get lost in our sight. What do we do about it? Because suppose they had died, we didn't know. So that should also challenge us to be our brother's keeper. So Mr. Mukarege, I'm glad that you're back again. This is your home that you started.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Pan-Africanists, Mr. Speaker, my colleague, Professor Alenyo, and our brother from Ghana, and the lady I don't know. Good evening. Speaker, sir, allow me to make a comment on what my colleagues have said. Express my disagreement.